Hello, I'm ABX and welcome back to some videos. Today I'll be talking about some advanced level PvP tips for Minecraft. And the reason this comes up is because basically on every video I upload, someone comes into the comment section and says, this should be called basic tips because I already knew everything there is to know there. And for the most part, I can ignore these comments because it's someone just trying to be trolly and kind of trying to show off this stuff. But I imagine there are some people who watch my channel who do know most of the things I put out there. So today I figured I'd look into something that's been bothering me for a while that really isn't well documented, and that is to do with how fast you can hit people and to do with like how fast you can do certain actions and how you can do them faster than you might otherwise believe. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about that and, like basically being able to do things faster than you currently can. You might not think you can in today's video. Hopefully you all do enjoy it. If you do, please do like the video and let me know because it helps out the channel a lot and lets know you do like this sort of thing where we go into something really in depth. It is something quite small, like, to do with how fast you can hit stuff, but it is something that can revolutionize your game because being able to hit just on point as opposed to, being inefficient can actually win you or lose you a fight, especially when it's one of those evenly matched things and you're both hitting each other non-stop. Being able to do it just a little bit faster than the guy you're hitting is something that's really important. So yeah, please do keep that in mind as we head forwards, and also keep in mind that this does change a little bit from PC to console. For instance, on the console, when you attack players, there is a delay before you can attack them again, whereas on the PC, a lot of servers don't have that, and also on the PC, if you hold down the right trigger, this doesn't happen. When you hold down the right trigger with just your fist, for instance, you're just going to punch once, and you have to hit the the mouse click over and over again. However, on the console, if you hold down the trigger, it actually does it continuously, and this is where the kind of genesis of today's video came from, because I was kind of just running around thinking, isn't it kind of weird that when you punch, you get this weird kind of punch that doesn't feel as fast as when you manually tap the trigger as fast as humanly possible? And then I actually measured the two and I compared the two, and as it turns out, the very fastest way to do this is by holding it down. There is no way to do it as fast, at least that I can tell, my amazing trigger figure. It seems like there is a cap on how fast you can hit. This is the same as on the PC, and it's just automatically maxed out by doing this. So if your goal is just to try and hit as many times as possible, you might think it's best to just spam the trigger, and it feels like it's working more, but truth be told, it is best just to hold down the trigger and then swing like this if you're trying to just go for that one hit. However, if you're trying to hit people over and over again on the console, and with vanilla Minecraft, I believe it should be this way, basically hitting people actually works a little bit differently than you might think. You might think when it comes down to it, what you got to do is you just got to hit over and over and over again, and then, you hit them 5 times, they're dead. If that was the case, you'd be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they're dead in literally 1.5 seconds. Even if they've got diamond armor and you've got diamond sword, that's how fast things are going to go down. However, it doesn't entirely work that way. The truth behind the system is there is a little bit of delay. So this delay also applies to all mobs, so maybe you'll learn something about that too. But basically, as you probably all know, when you hit something, there's this little kind of red delay where if you try and hit them in midair, it doesn't do anything. So let me just show you there twice. I'm going to hit twice really fast, and it's only going to count once. You saw that both those hits kind of hit, and it only counted once. So one thing to bear in mind is if you're using a sword, the second hit, so that hit right there, while they're in midair, doesn't actually count towards your durability. So you can do it as much as you like. It's fine to just... Also, this pig's going to die very soon, isn't he? But yeah, so let's just spawn another one. It's fine to hit them in midair as much as you want. I'm just spamming the trigger right now, and as you can see, it's pretty effective. They're bouncing and they're bouncing and they're doing the whole thing, but it's not actually the most effective way to hit stuff because of the delay. I mean, maybe if you're just trying to, get your... If you're not entirely sure, you can make it hit, so if the pig's running away and you just need to try as hard as you can, maybe that's the easiest way to do it, but it's not the best way to do it. What is the best way to hit people? The best way to hit people is actually to do it with 0.5 second increments. So when you hit someone and they get the, the 0.5 seconds of red / the knockback / all that stuff, it lasts for exactly 0.5 seconds. And I believe, the hitting as fast as you can, I believe this is 3 to 4 times per second, which means it doesn't actually match up perfectly, which means even though you might figure holding down the trigger and doing this, you would do pretty well, you can see it doesn't actually give you a continuous delay, whereas if you try and get the exact 0.5 seconds, again, it's really tricky to do, but if you try and do it like this, you can actually, with a pig, for instance, we're actually keeping him in midair doing this, which is pretty darn cool. So yeah, the basic lesson to be learned here is, although if you're trying to just go for feeler hits, it's best to hold down the trigger, at least on the console. On the PC, you can just max out by clicking 4 times a second, so it's not too hard. But yeah, it's best to hold down the trigger for a feeler hit. If you want to do the most damage over and over again, you have to hit, and then wait half a second, then hit, and then half a second, then hit. And I'm not doing it perfectly here, but if you are doing it perfectly, the pig will basically never be red. There'll be a tiny, split second of not red in between there, and that's how you can kind of test that and do some stuff. And it's something that I thought was kind of interesting. But that's not all today's video is about. I didn't want to just talk about how fast you can hit someone. I also wanted to talk about how you can fire stuff like snowballs faster, which again, mostly not for PvP, because on console, it doesn't do knockback, it only does stuff to things. You probably watched my video on, snowballs already, but just in case you haven't, basically, although you might seem like it's fast to fire snowballs like that, you actually can manually fire them if you hold down the trigger, if you tap the trigger rather than holding it down, and you can fire a lot faster too, more than double as fast, which is pretty darn handy. But this doesn't just apply to snowballs, although that's all I mentioned it in that video, because it was all that was relevant. It also applies to bottles or enchanting, or any other potion, but really these are the ones you're firing that fast. So if you get a bunch of potions and you need to give yourself XP and you don't expose yourself, this is something I do all the time on PC rather than holding down and getting something like this. As you can see, it's kind of a nice flow. If you fire a lot faster, you get a bunch more potions, and it's just kind of kind of handy. Or we have the XP machine next to us, which is obviously better than that, but you get the point. So it also applies to any form of potion, and it also applies to the flint and steel. So if you're just trying to set someone on fire, you might think, okay, hold down the trigger, do it like this. As you can see, you're setting on fire quite fast, but again, like with everything else, you can do it twice as fast if you manually just tap the trigger like this, and it's something pretty handy to know. So yeah, that's to round up those points. First of all, the sword, it doesn't matter how fast you hit when you're hitting, but, for feeler hits, it's best just to hold down the trigger. But with the left trigger, for some reason, it's weird that it switches. Also, for mining blocks, by the way, you want to just hold it down. There's no benefit to letting go. But yeah, when it comes to the left trigger, it is better just to tap as fast as you can. That's how you can set more stuff on fire. That's how you can throw more bots of enchanting. That's how you can fire more snowballs, more eggs, more anything that requires an individual action with the left trigger. So ender pearls, for instance. Not that you want to fire 5 of those. But yeah, that's the little pro tip for you right there. And in case you want to learn how to use a trigger finger faster, so you can actually take advantage of this, what I recommend is I played Guitar Hero on console because you have to use the trigger really, really fast for certain sections. But in case that's not something that appeals to you, I believe a lot of FPS games, you can switch the triggers and try and use the left one as your fire one. But in case that's not important to you either, there I believe is a control scheme where you can switch up your controls and put it to a button. So just in case, where's controls? Just in case you, so this is Xbox One for instance. Just in case you prefer your U's being somewhere else, you can put it with this one on the right trigger, which isn't too much handier, but still better than the other one. And yeah, it's something that you might want to do. So yeah, pro tip right there. How can you hit people faster? Making sure you count. It's one of those situations where being slower is being faster. If you hit them 5 times a second, you'll oversample and you'll only hit them once every 3/5 of a second, whereas if you hit them once every half second, you'll hit them once every half second, which, as you'll notice, is more times per second. It's 2 times a second as opposed to 1.666 for your character. So, yeah, that's all the things you need to know about PvP. Hope this video did help you out. If you already knew exactly what it was, then, I guess there's going to be that comment anyway, but let me know if this did help you out in any way, if you're going to use this, or if it's one of those things where you're like, you know what, Soycat, I like the idea of advanced tips, but I don't think this is going to help me. Let me know with the comments down below, but otherwise, please do like the video if you did like it, share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos just like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.